It's the middle of the afternoon, and you crack open a cold can of sparkling water. It hisses. The bubbles climb the sides. And somewhere in the back of your mind is a quiet little thought you've never once said out loud. This is the healthy choice. Not soda. Not juice. Water. Fancy water. From a spring somewhere. Full of minerals. The grown-up drink for the person who has their life together. You've been telling yourself that story for years, one can at a time. Tonight, one line of federal code is going to take that story apart in a single sentence. You didn't do anything wrong. You were sold a feeling, and the bottle was designed to sell it. Sparkling doesn't mean mineral. It never did. We pulled the labels on 10 sparkling waters. LaCroix, Perrier, San Pellegrino, Topo Chico. Poland Spring, Bubbly, Spindrift, and a few more you'll recognize the second you hear them. We judged them against exactly one rule. The actual legal definition of mineral water, written by the FDA, printed in the Code of Federal Regulations. And when the paperwork was done, only 3 of the 10 were legally allowed to call themselves mineral water at all. The other 7? Something else. Some of them are closer to your kitchen tap than to a mountain in Italy. And here's the part that's going to sit with you. The one with the biggest health halo in the whole test. The one people quit soda to drink. The one you might have in your fridge right now. Finished dead last. Quick thing before we start. Type the sparkling water you buy, the brand, and whatever words are on the front of the can, down in the comments right now. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which side of the line it landed on. 4 terms are going to do all the work tonight. Standard of identity, total dissolved solids, club soda, and spring water. Learn them once and no bottle in this aisle can ever fool you again. Because the bubbles are the marketing. The source is the truth. We judged all 10 the same way. Federal definitions, mineral panels, lab numbers, court files, paper only, no guessing. Counting down, worst at the end. Number 7. First, the honest part, because this channel doesn't sell panic. Nothing in this video is unsafe. Carbonated water won't hurt you. A seltzer with no minerals in it is a perfectly fine thing to drink, better than soda by a mile. Nobody on this list is poisoning anyone. The crime here isn't safety. It's the story on the front of the bottle, and the price you pay because you believed it. Some of these brands are charging you spring water money for water that never saw a spring. So let's get the foundation down before the countdown, because everything tonight hangs on it. The FDA has a thing called a standard of identity, a legal definition of what a word on a label is actually allowed to mean. And for water, there isn't one word. There are 6. Mineral water, spring water, artesian water, purified water, well water, and sparkling bottled water. 6 different legal names, 6 different meanings. And only one of them, mineral water, has a hard number attached that a lab can check. The other names sound premium. Most of them promise nothing at all. And notice which word is missing from that list of promises. Sparkling. When a label says sparkling, that word describes exactly one thing, the bubbles. It tells you carbon dioxide is in the can. It tells you nothing about where the water came from or what's dissolved in it. Keep that in your pocket. Half of tonight is people reading the word sparkling and hearing the word mineral. Number 7, Polar Seltzer. Let's start with the most honest bottle in the entire test, because it earns the gentlest fall. Polar doesn't hide behind a foreign name or a picture of an Alp. It calls itself seltzer right on the front, and seltzer means exactly what it says, water plus carbon dioxide and nothing else. No minerals, no source, no pretending. So why is an honest bottle on a list of failures? Because of where it lives. Polar sits on the same shelf, at nearly the same price, as bottles pretending to be something grander, and shoppers reach for it, thinking they're buying the same category of thing. They're not. Here's your first real term, and the whole video turns on it. Total dissolved solids, TDS. It's the measure of how much actual mineral matter is dissolved in your water. Calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate, the stuff that comes out of real rock. The FDA's line for the word mineral water is 250 parts per million. 250. Below that number, a water is legally forbidden from calling itself mineral, no matter how it tastes or what its name suggests. Polar's dissolved minerals? Essentially 0. It's purified water with gas in it, and that's fine. That's honest. But it means Polar isn't the entry-level version of San Pellegrino. It's a different drink wearing the same fizz. Feel the temperature of that number, 250, because from here down, it drops fast. Number 6, Spindrift. And here's a bottle that deserves credit before it takes its lump. Spindrift did the one thing almost nobody in this aisle dares to do. It told the truth about its flavor. While every other brand hides behind the vague words natural flavor, a phrase that legally could mean almost anything, Spindrift squeezes real fruit into the can and prints it on the label. Real lime, real grapefruit, you can see the pulp. In a category built on soft deception, that's genuinely admirable, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. So why is the honest kid still on the failing side of the line? Because being real about your fruit is not the same as being mineral water, and Spindrift never claimed to be. Its base is carbonated water. There's no protected spring behind it, no mineral panel on the side, no 250 number to hit. It's a lovely, transparent seltzer with actual fruit in it, and it is legally as far from mineral water as the plainest can on this shelf. That's the trap this whole video is about. Your brain sees a clean label, a wholesome brand, real ingredients, and it quietly upgrades the water in its head to something it isn't. Honesty about one thing feels like honesty about everything. Spindrift told you the truth about the lime. It just let you invent the rest. Number 5, Aha, from Coca-Cola. Now the shelf starts getting crowded with soda companies wearing lab coats. Aha is Coca-Cola's sparkling water. Launched in 2020, right as America was walking away from cola and toward anything that looked like wellness. Carbonated water, natural flavor, 0 calories, and a bright, cheerful can that says nothing about a source because there isn't one to say. But here's the detail that should stop you. Some Aha flavors have caffeine added. 30 milligrams a can, caffeine, in the drink you're using because it's water. Read that again. The one thing everybody agrees water is supposed to be. The plain, neutral, reset button drink. And the soda company has quietly slipped a stimulant into some of it and left the word water on the front. None of that is illegal. None of it is dangerous. But it tells you exactly what Aha is. It's not a spring in a can. It's a soda company's answer to the wellness trend, engineered flavor by flavor in the same buildings that make cola. And its dissolved mineral content, from an actual protected source, is the same as Polar's. 0. The can got healthier looking. The water inside didn't change at all. Number 4, Bubbly, from PepsiCo. And if Aha is Coca-Cola's answer, Bubbly is Pepsi's. The cute lowercase name, the pun on every can, the mascot energy. But Bubbly does something clever, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Bubbly fakes the body of mineral water. Taste a plain seltzer, and it feels thin. Water with bubbles, gone the second you swallow. Real mineral water has weight, a faint mineral roundness on the tongue, because it's carrying hundreds of milligrams of dissolved rock. Bubbly wants that mouthfeel without the spring. So it adds a whisper of potassium chloride and calcium chloride. Just enough to give the water a little body, a little presence, so it feels richer than the empty seltzer it actually is. And that's the irony that costs it. The very thing Bubbly does to seem more like mineral water is the thing that legally guarantees it can never be mineral water. Because the FDA rule has a line in it that's about to matter a lot. No minerals may be added. Real mineral water gets its minerals from the ground, on the way up, untouched. The second a brand doses minerals in at the factory to fix the flavor, it has disqualified itself, by definition. Bubbly didn't sneak past the rule. It walked straight into the one sentence that fails it, chasing a mouthfeel it could have had for free from an actual source. Which brings us to the bottle that takes that idea all the way, the one that actually has minerals in it and fails harder because of it. Number 3, Schweppes Club Soda. This is the cruelest twist in the whole countdown, so slow down for it. Of everything on this shelf, Club Soda tastes the most like real mineral water. That faint salty, savory, mineral tang. The thing that makes San Pellegrino feel like it came from somewhere. Club Soda has it in spades. So by taste alone, you'd swear this is the realest bottle here. It's the most disqualified bottle here. And the reason is your third term, Club Soda. Club Soda is carbonated water with minerals added on purpose. Sodium bicarbonate, that's baking soda, plus sodium chloride and potassium sulfate, dumped in at the factory to build that salty, minerally flavor from scratch. It's a 19th century invention, born when soda fountain chemists figured out they could imitate the taste of famous European spring water by mixing the salts in themselves. That's the whole idea of Club Soda. It is a deliberate counterfeit of mineral water, And it has been, honestly, for 150 years. So put it against that same clause one more time. The rule says the minerals have to already be there. A true mineral water is defined by what it never asked for. The calcium and bicarbonate were sitting in the rock long before anyone bottled it. Club soda is defined by the opposite. Minerals a technician measured out on purpose and stirred in. Same tang on your tongue. Opposite thing in the bottle. The one that tastes the most like the real thing is, by the letter of the law, the furthest from it. Taste was never the test. The source was. And from here down, we stop talking about bubbles altogether. We stop talking about what's in the water. And we start talking about a single word printed on the front of the last 2 bottles. A word you trust completely that means far less than you think. Number 2. Poland Spring Sparkling. It says spring water, right there on the label, over a picture of pine trees and clean New England water. And you filled in the rest. Spring, mineral, natural, pure. Your brain welded those words together a long time ago. Here's your 4th term, and it breaks the weld: spring water. Spring water is its own legal category, and it is not mineral water. Under the FDA rules, spring water has to come from an underground source that flows to the surface. And that's basically the whole requirement. There is no mineral floor, no 250 number. A spring water can have almost no dissolved minerals in it at all, and still, legally, wear the word spring. The word tells you how the water got out of the ground. It tells you nothing about what's dissolved in it. Spring is a geography word that America has spent 50 years reading as a health word. And with Poland Spring, even the geography is in a courtroom. Since 2017, a class action lawsuit has been grinding through the federal courts, alleging that Poland Spring isn't spring water at all, that it's ordinary groundwater pulled from wells, and that the company propped up its story with man-made spring sites, some near a former landfill. As of a 2025 ruling, a judge let key parts of that case move forward. The question of whether it legally qualifies as spring water in several states is still, officially, unsettled. The company denies all of it and calls the suit meritless. Nothing's proven. But sit with the shape of it. The bottle is fighting in court over whether it's even spring water. And spring water was never mineral water to begin with. You paid for a mountain twice, and the label may not clear the lower bar. Number 1. LaCroix. This is the one you switched to, the healthy one. The one you bought a case of when you finally quit soda. The one with the cult. The one people put in their profile like a personality. And by the only rule that matters tonight, it is the emptiest bottle in the entire aisle. Let the anchors stack up, because a number 1 has to earn it. 1. The ingredient list. Carbonated water and natural flavor. That's it. 2. The source. LaCroix's base is purified municipal water, city water, cleaned and carbonated. Not a protected spring. Not a mountain. A tap, done properly. 3. The minerals, from an actual source, essentially none. Its dissolved mineral content sits nowhere near the 250 line, which is exactly why LaCroix has never once claimed to be mineral water on its label. It doesn't have to lie. It just has to let you do the lying for it. And here's the fairest, most damning part. Back in 2018, a lawsuit tried to nail LaCroix. Claimed it was hiding synthetic chemicals behind that natural flavor label. LaCroix fought it, had its essences tested, and by 2020 the plaintiff withdrew and retracted the whole thing. LaCroix won, and that win is the confession. Because when investigators went looking for something hidden inside LaCroix, they found nothing. For the simplest possible reason, there was nothing to find. It really is just carbonated water and a little essence. What you see is genuinely what you get. The problem was never that LaCroix is hiding something. The problem is that you looked at plain city water with bubbles and a whisper of lime, and you decided it was wellness. It let you. It built a billion-dollar cult on letting you. That's why LaCroix is number 1 and not Poland Spring. Poland Spring at least fights over its spring. LaCroix never made the claim, never had to, and became the most trusted healthy water in America anyway. On nothing but a pastel can and your own imagination. The bubbles were the marketing. The source was a faucet. And nowhere on this list is the gap between the feeling and the water wider than in the can you trust the most. So pause the countdown, because the real question isn't which bottle, it's how. How did an entire aisle convince a health-conscious country that fizzy tap water is a mineral drink from a European spring? Go back to what sparkling water used to be. For most of the last century, Carbonated water was the cheap thing, the mixer, the club soda behind the bar, the stuff you cut whiskey with. Nobody romanticized it. Then, somewhere around 2015, two things happened at once. America started fleeing soda, and it started looking for a drink that felt clean without being boring. Sparkling water walked right into that gap. The mixer put on a nice can and became wellness. And the word sparkling was the perfect disguise, because remember what it legally means. Nothing about the source, everything about the bubbles. So a brand could take the cheapest water there is, municipal tap, run it through a filter, inject carbon dioxide, print a serene name and a mountain and a foreign-looking font, and sell it for the price of water that took 100,000 years to pick up its minerals underground. By some estimates, as much as 64% of bottled water in America starts from the same municipal supply that feeds your kitchen sink. The range depends on who's counting, but even the low estimates are large. The two best-selling bottled waters in the country, Aquafina and Dasani, are both openly municipal. The tap never left. It just got a better wardrobe. And run the register math on the wardrobe. A can of the pastel stuff can land right around what a liter of real Italian mineral water costs. Except the Italian bottle is carrying 1,100 milligrams of dissolved rock it spent ages picking up underground, and the pastel can is carrying filtered city water and a puff of gas. You're not paying more for more water. You're paying the same for the story. And here's the proof that even the real thing isn't safe from the costume. Perrier, the most famous mineral water on Earth, the green glass, the French pedigree, got caught. In 2024, its parent company Nestlé admitted using banned filtration and ultraviolet treatment on water that, by law, is supposed to reach you untouched from the source. Nestlé paid a €2.2 million fine. A 2025 French Senate report accused the government of helping cover it up for years. On its own website, Nestlé now admits Perrier may not fully qualify as natural mineral water. If the king of the category can quietly slip, then the lesson isn't trust the fancy name. The lesson is trust the paperwork, the named source, the printed panel, and nothing else. Now let me take one wrong idea away from you before it spreads, because you've probably seen the videos. Someone dips a little digital pen into two glasses of water. One reads low and one reads high, and they announce the low one is pure and clean and the high one is contaminated. That test is called a TDS meter, and for mineral water, it is exactly backwards. That pen measures how much dissolves and conducts electricity. It cannot tell healthy calcium from lead, and it counts them the same. Real mineral water is supposed to read high. Those high numbers are the minerals you're paying for. Gerolsteiner would send that pen off the charts, and it's one of the best waters in this test. And in anything sparkling, the carbon dioxide throws the reading off entirely. So ignore the pen. The pen can't read a source. The label can, if you know the 4 words. So what should you actually buy? 3 winners. The only 3 of the 10 that clear the legal bar, judged by the same rule that just failed the other 7. Minerals from the ground, a named source, and nothing added. Winner 3, Topo Chico, the gas station bottle. The cheap one, the one you grab with tacos. And it is, by the letter of the law, more genuinely mineral water than the premium pastel can that came in dead last. It comes from the Cerro del Topo Chico spring in Monterrey, Mexico, running around 630 parts per million of real dissolved minerals, well over the line. One honest footnote, because this channel doesn't do halos either. Topo Chico is naturally carbonated at the spring, and a little gas is added back during bottling to replace what's lost. But the minerals are the spring's own, not a factory's, and that's the line that matters. Coca-Cola owns it now, but the source is real, and the minerals are real, and that's the whole test. The cheapest bottle beat the trendiest one on the only measurement that counts. Winner 2, San Pellegrino. Yes, it's the fancy Italian one on the white tablecloth, but it earns the tablecloth. It flows from Val Brembana in the Italian Alps at around 1,100 parts per million, rich in sulfates, with the mineral panel printed right on the label for anyone who cares to check. You're not paying for a green bottle and a red star. You're paying for 1,100 milligrams of Italian rock in every liter, and every number on that label survives a flip. And winner 1 isn't the famous one. It's the one you've probably never heard of. Gerolsteiner, from the volcanic Eifel region of Germany. Around 2,500 parts per million of dissolved minerals, one of the most mineral-dense waters you can buy in a store, naturally carbonated by the volcano underneath it. It doesn't have a cult. It doesn't have a pastel can or a personality. It just quietly carries 5 times the mineral content of the bottles that outsell it 50-1. The winner of this whole test is the label nobody's bragging about, because the realest thing in the aisle never needed the marketing. 3 kitchen tests before you go. No lab required. Test 1, the flip. Turn the bottle around and read the first ingredient. If it says carbonated water, purified water, or filtered water, you're holding a seltzer, no matter how European the front looks. Real mineral water names a source and prints a panel of minerals in milligrams. First ingredient tells you almost everything. Test 2, the source hunt. Look for 2 things: an actual named source, a town or a spring, and a mineral breakdown on the side. No named spring and no milligram panel means it isn't mineral water. Full stop. And if the front says spring water, remember what you learned tonight. Spring is a category all its own, with no mineral floor at all. Test 3, the weight, and this one comes with a caveat. Pour a real mineral water next to a plain seltzer, same temperature, and taste them back to back. The mineral water has a faint salty, chalky weight that lingers. The seltzer is thin and vanishes. That's the dissolved rock you can actually feel. But this is a comparison, not a verdict. 1 glass alone proves nothing. 2 glasses, side by side, same minute, that your own tongue can referee. 4 myths to leave behind. Myth 1, sparkling water means mineral water. No, sparkling is a bubble word, and it makes no promise about the source. Myth 2, spring water means mineral water. No, different category, no mineral floor, sometimes almost none. Myth 3, an imported European name guarantees the real thing. Not even close. The most famous mineral water on Earth got caught using banned filtration and paid millions. The name is not the certificate, the panel is. Myth 4, a higher number on a TDS-pen means better water, or a lower one means purer. Neither. The pen can't tell minerals from contaminants, and it reads sparkling water wrong anyway. Read the label, not the gadget. Here's the whole video in 5 seconds at the shelf. Flip the bottle. Read the first ingredient. Look for a named source and a mineral panel in milligrams. And remember that sparkling is about the bubbles and spring is about the geography. Only mineral water, with a real number, is about what's actually dissolved in your glass. 5 seconds, once, and the aisle can never sell you a feeling again. So here's what you walked away with tonight. Standard of identity: total dissolved solids, club soda, spring water. 4 terms, and every bottle in that cooler just became readable. 7 of the 10 couldn't legally call themselves mineral water, including the honest ones, the cute ones, the soda company ones, and the pastel one with the biggest halo of them all, sitting dead last on nothing but your own imagination. Because the bubbles are the marketing. The source is the truth. Now it's your turn. Tell me the sparkling water in your fridge, in the comments, the brand, and the words on the front, exactly as they read. I read every single one, and the brand you name the most becomes the next label we pull. And send this to the one person in your life who swears their fizzy water is basically mineral water from a spring. Play them the 4 words. Let them flip their own can. They've been paying for a mountain long enough. See you at the next test.